Break. Conversation starts in full. Stay tuned. How's your body? And how is your soul? I like the fact that there are people that would remind me every time I did not mention it. What's up? Where's our yo, what's up? So I just did it. Yo, what's up? How's your mind? How's your body? How's your soul? 20th, right? So it's 20th of June 2024. 10 days till the end of the month, seeing that the month of June has just about 30 days. 30 days have September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31, except for February that has 29, I'll be 28 days and 29 in it. Oh my god, this is childhood memories. Someone says, why is your yo so subdued? It's the weather. Blame it on the weather. Yeah, when I got to work, it was quite fair. And by the time I was at work, the rains from nowhere just came, and that was what happened. And then coupled with the fact that I got heartbroken today, I'm going to share with you why. After trending stories, the bottom line is this: there is no more 50 naira akara, as I discovered this morning. All right, I intended to have breakfast of bread, very soft bread, akara, and akamu. And I went in search of akara with the intention to buy about 300 nairas worth, which was supposed to be 6 or 7 if the seller usually gives me dara, so like 7. My usual seller was not around. I decided to patronize another woman, and she outrightly said, I know they sell 50 naira akara again. And I go akara 100 naira. Yeah. So I'm heartbroken. Yeah, I had it, but then, it's not the same feeling. Yeah, that's why my yo-yo-yo is quite subdued. Criminalizing marriages between sickle cell carriers is the conversation. Yesterday, the world marked World Sickle Cell Day, and the federal government of Nigeria has been charged with declaring illegal marriages between sickle cell carriers across the country. Now, let me give a little foundation to this conversation. I remembered once upon a time, people would get married, or people would, get into a relationship and start having children. And some of the children will fall ill and die. So they give birth to this child. The child lives up to maybe 3-4 years. He's always ill. Then the child dies. They give birth to another child. And that happens over and over again. I think this author made reference to it in his book. These Things Fall Apart. Yeah. Chinua Achebe. And, the child was labeled an Obanje because they said that child kept coming back. Now, the researches were carried out. We began to embrace science. And we came to the discovery that those children were not indeed Obanje. They were actually children born with the SS genotype. I know someone in Bile local government area in River State. 2 people, they're relatives of mine. They're not legally married, but in the Riverine area, you live with a man long enough, people start referring to you both as husband and wife. So that was how they kept giving birth to children, and the children kept dying. Until one remained. Gladly, that one was born AS, as opposed to the others who were SS. Now, it was not until sometime years ago, about 5 years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago, they came to the discovery that the reason those children were dying was not a reincarnation. It was not the Ogbanje case. It was the fact that both of them were both AS. So they get given birth to children with the SS genotype. But for the last one, who was born AS. And for so long, we have lived in ignorance. Before medicine came to us, marriages had been instituted. Since time immemorial, a village man, a village woman, they find themselves, they love themselves, they get together in marriage, and that happens. But thank God for science. Thank God for medicine. Thank God for technological advancement that had made it possible for people to be able to check their genotypes. We now know whether we are AA, AS, or SS, right? It's a good thing. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take our hands together and we're going to do this. Good job. However, there are still some persons that are unaware. Guess what? Some adults in 2024 still do not know their genotype and their blood group. The only time they get to know is maybe when they get into the university. It's basic clearance tests. They go to the school clinic. I have known since I was in secondary school, because the secondary school I attended, they made it compulsory for all their students to have their medicals. So yes, I did, and I knew my genotype from when I was in GSS1 and my blood group. But for some others, they had to get to the university to know. So don't laugh at them. Well, they were not aware. The sensitization probably didn't get to them. Some people did not know until they had to find jobs. Some others only got to know their blood group at the point when they needed to do their driver's license. They say, okay, let me go and check what it is. But there are people that will still not know even after this conversation. So I thought I'd clear the air on that. Now, two people in love. The reason why we're having this conversation, because most likely two people in love who are oblivious of their genotype will end up reproducing, giving birth to children with the sickle cell anemia. Yes, they do not know. They are not aware. And that is why some people are actually calling for the criminalization of marriages between sickle cell carriers. Now, this is the full story. It was disclosed by a sickle cell survivor, Dr. Usman Lawal, while speaking with newsmen after delivering a paper titled Hope Through Progress, Advancing Sickle Cell Care Globally in Oshogbo on Wednesday to mark the 2024 Sickle Cell Day. He disclosed that marriages between sickle cell patients have destroyed many homes, adding that the union sometimes was due to wrong laboratory results issued to such persons before their union. While stressing that government should check the activities of various medical laboratories with a view to checking issuance of wrong genotype results, he advocated for the need for a marriage act that would criminalize union between sickle cell carriers. My number one appeal, this is him and I quote, is that government at all levels to checkmate the activities of all medical laboratories in Nigeria to ensure they do not issue wrong results that could lead to two carriers marrying each other. Government should also ensure that marriage institutions don't join people that are not compatible together. A law should be put in place that ensures that even traditional, religious, and even the court do not sanction marriages of couples that are not compatible. Meanwhile, the convener and founder of Majupela SC Advocacy Initiative, Modupe Shijua, a sickle cell survivor, stressed the need for federal government to ensure availability of drugs for victims to manage their situation. Now, this is not the first time that there has been a call to criminalize marriage between sickle cell carriers. Sometime in July 2015, still celebrating World Sickle Cell Day in 2015, the federal government were reacting to speculations that it was pursuing a legislation to ban marriages between victims of the disease. But they said they will not go through with it. He said the federal government through the ministry would rather adopt aggressive public sensitization that will be geared towards creating more awareness about the disease in Nigeria. Couples who are carriers are still getting married today out of ignorance. And the best way to cure ignorance is by sensitization of the public. Criminalizing marriage between two carriers is undemocratic because it will amount to criminalizing love. So government is not even contemplating that option. We are in a democracy, and I think everybody is free to choose his or her partner. So the best approach for now is sensitization, which will be at the head of other strategies, he said. However, he acknowledged the fact that the burden of the disease in Nigeria was high and that there was an urgent need for actions to be scaled up. 2015, and we are in what? 2024. That was 9 years ago. Am I right? So 9 years after, I'm asking these two questions. How successful has sensitization been in preventing sickle cell carrier marriages? Question number 2. Would criminalizing sickle cell carrier marriages indeed prevent marriages and reproduction between sickle cell carriers? I had to emphasize on that because some people that are reproducing are not married. I mean, we have baby mamas and baby papas here and there. Let's talk. Once again, 0817 923 0002. You can join the conversation on WhatsApp and Telegram. The WhatsApp and Telegram number is 0809 030 6416. Again, 0809 030 6416. We're live on X at Nigeria Info page is our X handle, and our Facebook page remains Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. Join the conversation by either sending in your messages, which I would gladly read in course of the conversation, or by calling the phone lines, and I'll gladly take your calls after, of course, they have been screened by the call screeners. My caller is Zion from GRA. Hi, Zion. How are you doing today? Let's talk.
Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you, Zion. Go ahead.
I will also register my complaint and concern. The yo-yo is not motivated enough.
Is because of the akara that was heartbroken. I'm still feeling it.
Agreement with akara people. You have our own agreement. So keep our own agreement.
Okay, I will do my best. I will motivate it tomorrow.
I don't like that, dude.
Okay.
I think criminalizing it does not indeed will serve the purpose. You have not put in the relevant apparatus to deal with the issues you are criminalizing. That is just a government that is just bullying people. I want to ask, is there any government designated lab where the people can go for the genotype test? That should have been the number one thing. Go to every government designated hospital and get your DNA results or test. If you don't do that, this is the law. That's what educated people do. And in this our time now, where girls are getting pregnant at will, men that testosterone, estrogens are on the loose on every minute, putting this kind of law. Are you aware of what is going on in the hinterland, in Dambiza Forest, in Kaduna, and so on, that they meet on a daily basis? I feel that if you want to put this law, first thing you should look at is the characteristics of the people before putting on the law. This square, I stand to be corrected. There are many people who gave birth to children. The guy they dated, they don't even know the guy's blood group.
Oh, yes.
They don't know. And now you want to criminalize them.
Well, it is not the government that wants to do so. It is groups calling for the government to do so.
Then the government should not adhere to that kind of a call.
Okay.
Because that call does not see. Okay, look at my case. When I wanted to get married, the girl I was dating then, 2 years relationship. We don't know our genotype. We don't know our blood group. I'm telling you. Not until after we make arrangements. Also, okay, let us go. And we cannot get married. We have to end that relationship, go our separate ways in goodwill and in good faith. So the only truth is the group should only plead with the government to designate hospitals or labs where people can go get their genotype, their blood groups, and all these things, either on a subsidized rate or free of charge.
Free of charge.
Talking about the law.
Okay.
Mr. Zion.
All right, thank you, Mr. Zion. So, designated spots where people can go and get tested at a subsidized rate or free of charge. Whew. How many people will take advantage of that? Think about it. Like I said, there are some persons that did not know their genotype until it was required for them to fill a form. It had to take them going through a clearance process to get tested. They didn't want to know about it for knowing sake. There are still people that do not understand how it works. Which is why we're going to get a doctor again. Trying to remember his name now. He was supposed to cover both blood group and genotype the day he was on Mind, Body and Soul here. But that day, the conversation on the blood group thing was so interesting and broad. We didn't want to rush it. So we agreed he comes on another day and talk about the whole genotype thing, which is what we are talking about as we speak. But if I take a poll, maybe that's what I'm going to do on Mind, Body and Soul today. How many of you know your genotype? How many of you got some form of sensitization? What propelled you to finding out your genotype? So you may want to start thinking about it. 2 or 3, up in the phone lines, and then we get to answer that question. All right? But the truth of the matter is, people will find themselves in love or in some form of entanglement. That entanglement or that relationship will lead to a pregnancy. And that pregnancy will give birth to a baby. At what point do you check? Now, these days you go on social media and you see how some people say, if I'm on a talking stage with someone and I realize I really, really like this person, that's the time I would ask, what's your blood group? Sorry, what's your genotype? I don't want to let it metamorphose into that level where I begin to catch feelings. And then we find out that, we cannot marry you. So no. On the first date, my name is so and so. I work with so and so. What do you do? Okay, I'm from so and so place and all of that. Okay, yeah, so what's your genotype? I mean, isn't that awkward? You guys should chill. Talking stage. Why? Because you don't want to be arrested for falling in love and getting married to someone that you're not compatible with. Again, how successful has sensitization been in preventing sickle cell carrier marriages? And question number 2, would criminalizing sickle cell carrier marriages indeed prevent marriages and reproduction between sickle cell carriers? Numbers once again, 0817 923 0003. WhatsApp and Telegram number 0809 030 6416. Again, call number 0817 923 0003. WhatsApp number 0809 030 6416. Charles from Mercyland. How are you doing today, Charles?
I'm doing fine. Good afternoon, Didi.
Good afternoon, Charles. Talk to me.
Okay, Didi, sensitization is not effective or efficient enough. That is why you see there are records of people that ignorantly get into marriage without knowing their genotype. So I think the organization or the group that are calling for government to criminalize it should engage more in sensitizing the people. Most of the problems we face in this country are problems that if people are adequately given proper information before they break into those doors, they will not be a victim of their circumstances. The other thing you said of how World Health Organization told us not to eat food of 3 days. These are the things that they should be bringing down to nations. Bringing down to nations, because this is more important than that other one. So the sensitization needs to go more. People don't know about all these things. Baby mamas, baby papas, they are all victims of all these things. Now we were talking about should we initiate this at the talking stage? It is brilliant, but when you initiate it at the talking stage, the other partner might see you as being desperate or being fast forward. Because when someone talks about what is your genotype, you should know that the person is already seen to have a very reasonable feature with you or something like that. So you just want to clarify. So it's a bit, someone might think, the person is so fast forward. So for me, I think no need to criminalize it, and I think they should increase more on the sensitization.
Okay, thank you so much. Victor from Rumokrushi, how are you doing?
Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Victor.
Okay. Criminalizing it, I don't think is really right for now. So it's very close. The time is very close, but the government officials, the people involved, are not doing their job. As in sensitizing people, as in sensitizing, saying it on the radio, creating the awareness, telling people what it is, the dangers and the implications of them. I say that to say this. Most of this, the problem that we have on most of these things are the kind of information we gave when we were small. Now, for instance, look at now, people are doing sensitizing people on this cancer, breast, on children to go and like. Do you know that a lot of persons will not allow their children to go and immunize because they think those things are demonic? These are the kind of information they pass to children. Who makes them, they see most of those things. Maybe you tell people to go and check their genotype, they will think it's CPT, they will tell now. They give them those things. Like for instance, when they were giving immunization for coronavirus, go and take vaccine. A lot of people need to eat. Are you aware that most Nigerians have not taken those vaccines? As a result of what the kind of meaning that they read to it. So if I think people should go, they should create awareness. Government themselves, when they set up a kind of group that will do that thing, those people will just relax, they're doing nothing. At the same time, even when they are doing something, the people that they are even saying they will not even take it as anything. They will just see it as normal thing. There are a lot of problems in Nigeria, in short. Let me just leave it there.
All right. Thanks, Idibile is not, that was a mistake, all right? Bile is not a local government, but a town in Degema. Bernard, thank you. That was a mistake. Okay, let me take this call from Daniel Imogate before I go back to some of the WhatsApp messages. Nigeria Info, Daniel, good afternoon.
Thank you, Didi.
Welcome.
Daniel Imogate Oswako. I just want to ask a question. In a relationship that will not lead to marriage, not even to talk about producing children, is there any need for that, for you to know your partner?
Well, Mr. Daniel, we cannot say that for a fact. There are relationships that did not lead to marriage. They did not plan to have children, but the children came.
Well, I'm just asking. The person you're speaking with is an old man. Maybe the younger people into that will benefit from my question. Okay.
WhatsApp messages now. Chief Churchill says, how's your man, how's your body, how's your soul? Good afternoon from Awagwa. Good afternoon, those who live in Port Harcourt. Yes, thank you. For me, to avoid loss of money and loss of life, after I think it is right to criminalize it in that way. It will go viral once, but if they only want to sensitize Nigerians, they'll take it as cruise. They will play with it and move on, but if they criminalize it, everybody will take it serious because this country, we're too strong, we get coconut head. Chief Churchill, children are born through rape as well. Sadly so. Sadly so. I mean, we look, marriage is just one means of reproducing children. Marriage, yes, is the acceptable, moral, recognized, legitimate means of reproducing. So you get married and then you reproduce. Have we had instances where people reproduced before they got married? The answer is yes. But there are other ways, or there are other instances. People go to the sperm bank these days and have their eggs fertilized. People unfortunately get raped and the victims get pregnant and they reproduce as well. There are multiple avenues. Marriages for sickle cell carriers. How about those people who have gotten into relationships and reproduced as well? So how does that help solve the whole problem? Now there's sensitization. Being aware that there's the existence of this and trying your best to prevent it on your own. But you see, love is strong. Have you seen two AS people in love? They don't want to break up. Parting ways is not easy. I say this because I know people who have come together. They knew they were not going to get married eventually, but they've been together for years. At some point they had to decide, okay, let's break up already so that, you can find your person, I can find my person. But one person is still crying. One of us is crying. Person is still crying because the person doesn't want the relationship to end. Sadly. But it's the reality. It's love. It's matters of the heart we're talking about. Criminalizing marriages between carriers is useless. 1, not everyone feels a need to marry before having babies. So will the government demand that people show each other's genotype result before sleeping together? 2, not everyone who gets married wants to have children. So if two carriers are not intending to have biological children in their marriage, what then? 3, it might sound unethical to some, but some people actually have money and access to doctors for genotype selection, which means two carriers can prevent an SS from even being conceived. 4, some people's religious beliefs are stronger than anything any government is saying. 5, the fact that something is a crime doesn't mean some people won't do it. After all, kidnapping is a crime, but has that stopped anyone who is determined to do it? Good afternoon, Didi. How justifiable is criminalizing it? How do we enforce penalty? I beg sensitization is the way to go. That one is from Cali. Nigeria Info, good afternoon to you. Welcome. Go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. It's Denise.
To me, my name is Foko. I'm a want to go. Calling from Omwawa.
You're welcome.
Okay, now. Instead of criminalizing it, I am suggesting that let it be as soon as you get back in the hospital, without charging you, they should do those things.
Okay.
The genotype and the blood group and make it known to the parents. Then from there, the children can now know. Like on my own, I did it for all my children. So I know all of them. They are just tender age. I know all their genotypes.
All right.
So that is the way I am suggesting. Instead of, this national population census, you will now see some some health center. They will just keep their table. As soon as you deliver and born a baby, a newborn baby, they say, collect your this thing. They register and then give you the date of death.
Okay. All right. Makes sense. But then for babies, they have to get to a particular point before you are able to even detect that. That's something I would like for some of us to know. Charles Ohaji says the churches and other institutions conducting marriages should make genotype tests compulsory and also dismiss any conflicting genotype and blood group of intending couples. Have you seen some couples with faith like a mustard seed that can move mountains? So I tell you, there's nothing God cannot do. They'll provide. The genotype will change. The desensitizations and laws to check sickle cell have not and would not work because the force of gravitation in love highly supersedes any measure to check this menace. John O. Wagogo send that in. Okay, 2 to 3. Do you know your genotype? We're going to news break for trending stories, and when we come back, my story, my ordeal, my predicament, I would share with you, and it's on Akara. Stay tuned.